So let's be honest, there's a lot happening in local search right now. Most of it has to do with AEO, GEO, AI search, or whatever you prefer to call it. It's here, and it's pretty serious. But somehow, it seems like other practices are showing up in AI overviews while yours is either at the bottom of the list or not on it at all. Here's what's really going on. They probably haven't implemented an AI search strategy. They're certainly not better practices than you. In reality, Google and AI systems just see them as being more relevant than your practice is. Many dentists, despite having great looking websites, they're just running a homepage, they're running a services page, and then a contact form. Then they wonder why they're invisible for half of what they actually offer. I'm David Jackson, the owner of Techie, and today I'm doing two things. One, I'm going to show you exactly what pages you're missing on your website that's preventing you from ranking higher. And number two, I'll show you the exact workflow that I use to write these pages at scale so that they outrank the competition and not just exist on your website. Let's get started. So let's actually take a look here at a practice who filled out the form and was interested in a pin parity score. That's a free score that you can run on our website at techie.com/score. Gives you a good sense of where you're at with local SEO and also AI search, and tells you a few things you can do to make improvements. But as we can see here, their website looks pretty good. Great use of colors, photography, great use of fonts. And unfortunately though, when we look at the heat map, they are only ranking number 3 in the exact location where they're located. So of course, right next to their practice, they show up because again, proximity, they're right there. But if you go about a mile in any direction, they are at the very bottom. They're actually 20, if not higher than ranked 20. So they're just not showing up. You got a 14 here, but local search is really not their friend when it comes to this map. But let's diagnose that further. When we go in here, we can see that they do have services linked here, but they only really have 4 linked from their homepage. And then when we go into their services page, they have a lot more linked. Now, I think it's an interesting design decision not having them in a drop down so that someone could quickly and easily get to them. Instead, they have to scroll through all of these. But I would bet that even with what they have here, this is still not enough coverage where Google and AI search algorithms see this as relevant. And we can see that's the case with this AI search query. Who are some great dentists for my kids in Sugar Land, Texas? And Sweet Pea is nowhere on any of the recommendations that they give here at the top. And they don't really rank on Google Maps either, at least in the local pack. However, they do show up here organically, which is great, and I'm sure it does pull a few visits, but of course we had to scroll over 50% of the way down just to get to their result. It's likely that someone has stopped at one of these. Another thing to consider is the fact that you will have ads here, which will push the results down even further. So it's pretty important to try and show up somewhere up here because this is where search is going over the next 12 to 24 months. We'll just see more and more people stop here. So switching back here, this map really just means that they don't have enough topical relevance. And in order to do that, they just need more content on their website covering the things that they actually do. So how do we find out what these things are, and then how do we structure it on the website? So there's a really great tool out there. It's called GMB Everywhere, and I've also talked about it in previous videos. But GMB Everywhere powers your content strategy, especially when it comes to the pages on your website. So first thing you want to do, and this is a bit of a detour, but please make sure that you have all of the categories possible on your Google business profile. You need to go in and make sure you have everything selected that you can. Dentist, dental clinic, emergency dental, orthodontist, pediatric dentist, cosmetic dentist, all of the things that you do and all of the services that you offer, even if it's just a few things from that category, please add that to your Google business profile. After you do that and after you save it, go ahead and hop in to the category finder, which is a part of GMB Everywhere. What you're going to see is you're going to see all of the categories that you have selected. You can also have ideas for other types of things that you offer. I would actually say, I believe they did have teeth whitening, so that's a gap, right? That's something where that category needs to be added to their Google business profile. But essentially, I am mapping out all of the category pages first up here. So anything else that looks good down here, I would go ahead and click in so that I have my plan. So once you have all of these, just kind of write them down somewhere, put them somewhere that you will remember. Now here's the really cool part about GMB Everywhere. It gives you a full list of services that are related to that category. And this is where you just have opportunity after opportunity of things to write on your website. All of these services are recognized by Google and recognized by AI algorithms. And they also just give you a ton of things you can write about, especially if you have a block. So write down as many of these as you can for each category that you can. And essentially, this is your content strategy. You'll want to get all of the services that are most relevant to you organized under the category that they best fit in. Now, sometimes you'll see repeat things, like for instance, you may see teeth whitening up here and you might see it down here. It's not a one-to-one and it's not exact. Just do what you think makes the most sense and put it where you think it makes the most sense. You don't have to be extremely strict when it comes to what you name this or what you call this over here. And you don't have to write a page for every one of these things. These are just great ideas that could help you get picked up in an AI search and in a local search. So now that we know what categories we want to include and also the services that belong to them, it's time to organize them onto the website. So what you need is each category needs its own dedicated page. That means that we would have a category page for dentist, emergency dental service, orthodontist, pediatric dentist, and teeth whitening service. Now, I didn't say dental clinic because that's the same as dentist. Really, there's a little nuance. Like I said earlier, take it with a grain of salt, but you should have those 5 pages represented. Where I would put that is instead of these, I would actually create all of those pages and then make sure they are linked to from this section or really just somewhere on the home page. Now, when it comes to how you put together your category page, you'll include some content, but the main thing is that it links to all of the services that are related to that category. So instead of linking out to the service pages from the home page, link to the category page, and then that category page links to all of the services that belong to it. Now, when it comes to a service page, really all you have to do is just make sure that you have general content and an FAQ on that page. If you can do all of those things, you will satisfy the requirement for a really solid service page. If you can structure it in this way, homepage, category page, service page with FAQs, and do that for all of these services and categories, you will move the needle in terms of your relevance, your local map pack ranking, and your visibility in an AI search. So here's the caveat. That's a lot of content to write. We're talking 25, 40, or even 50 pages or more of content that you've got to write and get into your website. Luckily, we have AI, right? If you just go to ChatGPT and type in something like, write me a page for dental implants, you're going to end up with some pretty terrible content that Google and AI systems are just going to ignore. And then you're going to be in the same place you are now. The content you write needs to be unique, specific, and tailored to your practice if you want to get it recommended. Let me show you how I do it in a fraction of the time that still comes up with unique quality content that gets our clients ranked all the time. So this is a custom software that we built to allow our company to do multi-location SEO at scale. And what I'm going to show you is the content writing piece of it. So just like what we looked at earlier, we have the categories and then we have all of the services listed under it. So let's go ahead and say we want our dentist category page, which it knows it's a category page. Let's say that we just wanted to do just a few. I'm just going to quickly build out a few pages just so you can see an example of how this thing works. Okay, so let's say that we needed to add all of these pages to our website. We've got the category pages and then the service pages, and we're just going to go ahead and press add selected. Now we have a list of all of the pages that we need to create. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to dentist here. Let's say we want to build a category page, and I'm going to press start writing. Now what this is going to do is it's going to build a content brief. It's going to look at different questions from places like Reddit. It's going to look at people also ask questions and answers from Google. It's really going to go out there and scrub the internet and find a lot of what competitors are talking about, what people are actually asking for. And it's also going to take a look at the client's Google reviews to really get a good sense of what this page needs to include. And so this is research that would take us hours to do in the past, now all done by our tool, making this research so much faster when it comes to getting a quality outline for our content. All right, so the brief is finished. We can take a look at it all. It has a title tag, meta description, H1, a suggested URL, a target word count, brand voice, and then all of the other outline sections. I can make changes to it if I want. I can go ahead and approve that. And then let's go to draft, and we're gonna go ahead and press start writing. So I'm gonna let our writer do its thing, and then I'm gonna come back and see how it did. So it looks like it wrote the content, and we have our first draft here. It does a lot of different steps when it writes the content. It actually looks at all of the client's notes that we have saved under their profile. It also pulls in information from the reviews that the client has, so it tries to take those into account. After using all of this overview information, we have it go through 7 different checks, including one final check and rewrite to make sure that the content is very sound. Now, of course, this isn't something that I would post directly to the website as is. I always like to do my own modification to anything that's AI. However, this is one of the strongest and most efficient starts to writing a service and category pages that we've been able to develop. So go out there and download GMB Everywhere and get started identifying the category and service pages that you're missing that could be holding you back from ranking much higher and getting more visibility. You can use Claude or any AI tool to write the content. Just make sure you fed it a lot of context about who you are and don't use the content without a human touch. This is one of the fastest ways to build relevance on your website, which is one of the 3 factors that Google and AI search use when deciding who to recommend. But there's still proximity and authority that you have to pay attention to. These are the 2 other factors you'll have to consider when it comes to growing your locations this year. You can learn more about those in this video where I talk about the pin level method for ranking multiple dental practice locations.